click. Before I start this video, it is November when I'm filming this, start of November. There's a word Movember, which some of you will be aware of. Movember is basically a charity that looks after men's mental health. Not only men's, but it's the awareness type thing. Every November I grow my moustache against Emma's will. She hates me having a moustache, which is even funnier. Some form of appreciation. Not often do I raise money. I don't like asking for money. I try not to just go, hey, here's my link. But what I've decided this year is I am going to give the revenue from November, all of my YouTube revenue, not like it's a lot of money, is going to go to the Movember Foundation. The team over there does a really good job, or from what I can tell, they do a really good job. I don't know them, but you know. So I've decided I'm going to give my revenue from this month all to Movember. So all I will ask of you is, if you're watching this now, can you subscribe, like the video, and just comment below? I mean, the comment can literally say anything, but it just gets the algorithm going, pushes the video up in the algorithm, which means I get more views, which then in turn I get more money from this video, if that makes sense. I think my RPM is essentially 0.03 of a pence per view, so it's really not a lot. Anything would be really useful. All right.
Engine though.
Yeah, rather you than me. Bants with the locals. So this video is going to be a little bit of an amalgamation of various different things. I am trying a new DJI mic, DJI Mic 3. I tried the 2 and I found them really tinny for some reason. So I'm trying those out. It might go really horrifically and then I'll have to use my other recorder anyway, but you know, we'll find out. The main reason for this video, I want to talk about, obviously the last couple of videos you would have seen. I'm going to kind of ignore the crash video on the monkey, the engine swap, Romania, and then the next engine swap because I got back from Romania. I had a lot of keyboard warriors, as you'd expect, going, KTM this, KTM that. I don't really blame KTM for the whole thing. But the big thing is if I just take you off this mount, she's back on the road, boys, or boys and girls. Still got loads to finish on it. As you can tell, my crash bars and my Denalis are not on it yet. The bark busters, they've taken quite a substantial amount of battering, although they are still in one piece, so that's sort of fine. I have brand spanking new Motor Gadget mirrors on. I ordered these before I went to Romania because I knew mine would get scratched up, but oh, look at them, they're so pretty. My carburetor is back on the bike. We're basically just giving it a bit of a test run, as it were, make sure everything's okay. This bike has got it's got 59,000 miles on it now. When it was on 56,000 miles, my chain snapped. And what happens when the chain snaps, essentially rips off the mounts to the clutch slave cylinder. And the problem with that is the mounts for that are on the main engine block. So your options are essentially replace the entire side of the engine block. Some people have managed to get it welded, but not very well. I was talking to the KTM techs and they basically said every time they've managed to get it welded, it hasn't lasted very long. The entire engine casing is £1,800, Great British pounds. I keep seeing all these little scratches all over the bike from where I've obviously dropped it in Romania. I bought the last engine for £1,600, so an entire engine that had done 10,000 miles for £1,600. Put that in, rode to Romania, and then did the KTM Adventure Rally. If you haven't seen the videos, essentially what happened is I took this thing, like the hardest off-road I've ever done in my life. It performed incredibly well for the first 4 days, 3 days, 4 days. And then on the final day, I was taking it relatively easy because obviously I had to ride 2,500 kilometers or 3,000 kilometers home. What I now know, so this chain slider comes along here, round the front and then back that way. The bolt in the bottom was not there when I got home and took this engine out. So I'm assuming the bolt came out the bottom because I hadn't put enough Loctite on it, essentially broke in the middle and wrapped itself around the front sprocket. Likely my fault, I guess, from not putting enough Loctite on it. Because of the tension it's put under that, it's just ripped this off. Like we were in Romania, taking the rear wheel out, pulled the chain slide as far forward as possible to release the tension. By that point, this had already been ripped off. Now, I've had a huge amount of people saying, well, yeah, KTM shouldn't put the clutch slave cylinder there. I'm like, yeah, I get that. However, I got home, I checked my Ducati 916, it's in exactly the same area. My mate's Aprilia is in exactly the same area, and quite a few other bikes are in exactly the same area. It's all like sacrificial. I mean, it would be nice if that section was a removable part of the engine, like an engine casing, rather than just the entire engine block. That could be changed. I mean, for the amount of people that this actually happens to, they're not going to redesign the entire engine. I wouldn't expect any manufacturer to. The engine that I took to Romania, it's broken in a way that I think can be welded and fixed. The first one bent the actuation pin and all sorts of stuff, so you'd have to split that. It's just not worth saving. So I got that from a breaker's yard, which is on eBay, same place I got the first engine from. Basically, it was an untested engine. The previous owner of the bike had crashed, had a front end collision, and it had killed the power to the TFT. All the wiring had been broken, all sorts of stuff. So they weren't able to test it, and because of that, the engine was slightly cheaper. It was £1,450 or something like that. I put in a cheeky offer of £1,300 and they accepted it, so it was £1,300 delivered. And this engine, I'm told, has got less than 1,000 miles on it. You can get the actual mileage off of the throttle body connector, or the throttle body sensor, should I say. So I essentially have a brand spanking new engine in my bike. So as you can imagine, in Romania, I had a little bit of a, not a tantrum, kind of a tantrum, but kind of, I'm done with bikes. I want to get home and not focus on it, not focus on the bike. So the last month or so, Emma and I have made quite a lot of progress on the house, renovating the house, the car that you haven't seen yet, or most of you haven't seen yet, making progress on the K truck and all sorts of stuff. So I've just been working on that, trying to sort little things out in my life, so I feel like I'm in a better headspace to focus and get this thing up and running again. I got a few other little bits. There's a lovely guy called Sean who sold me very, very cheap his original headers. He's essentially straight piped his bike. Sean, if you're watching this, thank you very much, mate. I know you went to a lot of hassle to pack it up and wait for DPD to pick up and all that sort of stuff. So I've got those because my original ones had a hole in where the chain had clouted it. Mad for Bikes has obviously provided all of the oils and coolants and stuff like that I've needed, which is great. And then I needed to order things like a preload sensor and stuff like that, which I think basically when the chain hit the rear preload sensor in the initial impact of the chain, because I just said the chain, and then in Romania I was getting a preload error come up, so I've replaced both of the rear shocks sensors. I still need to get that cleared off of the ECU, I think, because it still comes up on the dash. Like I said, there's still a load of stuff to do to it. Crash bars aren't on because I'm going to get them re-powder coated because they are pretty beaten up. New mirrors, like I said, I'm going to get new bark busters. I'm going to clean the bike up a little bit more and give it a bit more love. Now, one thing I will say, I had a load, like I said, I've got a load of keyboard warriors. You shouldn't take that bike to Romania. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. I know. I found out I was going to Romania 3 weeks before the event. They sell the tickets out in December of each year, and it's always like June, July, August the following year. They emailed everyone going, we've got a couple of spaces left where people have pulled out of the event. Does anyone want them? First come, first serve. I emailed back within 6 minutes. They emailed back to me and said, basically, the space is yours. I've always wanted to do it. I didn't have the money to find another bike that I could do the trip on. So I took the one I had. Obviously, it's the KTM Adventure Rally. I had some guy tell me that I needed to get a Tenere. I'm like, you can't take the Tenere, a Yamaha Tenere, to a KTM Adventure Rally. It's like going to the BMW GS Trophy and saying, hey, can I turn up on a KTM? They're going to tell you to FO. Anyway, digressing massively, I've taken this bike off-road a load of times and stuck some nice chunky Mitas knobblies on it. It performed so well, like unbelievably well for a 250 kilo bike. It's been upside down multiple times. I had fuel pissing out the fuel cap, coolant coming out, I dropped it. This thing flipped down a hill. Oh no! Shit! And it still got up, pressed the button, and it started straight away. Like, I mean, what a machine. I was riding around with Felix, Toby and Norbert, who were the German guys I was with, if you've watched the episode. They were all riding around on KTM 890Rs. This thing was keeping up. What I think we'll do is we'll get back on the bike because I want to test this microphone out. I'm going to head home. Something else that went wrong is Emma turned up the other day and said the airbag light was on the car and none of the steering wheel buttons working. I'm like, well, that's a clock spring. I've had a clock spring done on that before and it cost me over £1,000. I found someone that says he can repair them for £60. So we're going to try this, and that's what we need to go and do because it's 3 o'clock. We have that meeting with him. Very quickly before I do get on the bike, so far the bike is running well. Like I said before, I think the engine's been sat for a couple of years. So when I started it was a bit like put, like it would run, but it was struggling to run type thing. I have just gone and put a fresh tank of fuel in it. Like I said, I've got the preload error that keeps coming up on screen. The only other thing that's just happened, basically the bike's running hot. To do the engine swap, you have to drain the coolant out. I basically filled up the radiators from the top, coolant into the expansion reservoir, then run the bike up to temperature, keeping an eye on the temperature. And then when you turn it off, the bike sucks coolant around and almost bleeds itself. Obviously didn't do enough, or we didn't get enough liquid in there. I'm obviously not going to take it stupid because I'm a little bit scared about my chain snapping again or something going wrong. And I can't deal with the mental challenge of dealing with another engine swap. To be honest, I think if the engine went on this, I'll just set fire to the bloody thing. If anyone from my insurance is watching, that was a joke. Oh, I've got some like smudge on my screen. Please don't tell me I've had a smudge on my lens the entire time I've been filming this. Oh, Joe has just texted me saying I've just snapped my locking wheel nut key. Oh, mate, that's gonna hurt. Yeah, I didn't mean to laugh, Joe, but not fun. Hello? Hi. The DJI Mic 3. This is all paid, by the way. I don't get free stuff from DJI. I kind of wish I did, because all of my stuff is DJI, but I also don't want the hassle of having to tell you lot that it's good when it's not. Not that I would do that anyway. Also, I've got my rider's t-shirt from KTM Adventure Rally 2025. I also need to adjust this. Kill switch engaged. I wish it said that instead, because that was a great band. Yeah, temps come down. Ready? Preload adjuster. Heater grips will work. My brakes will work. Obviously I can't check the suspension works because the preload adjuster thing. I'll have to get that warning done, sorted. In my Halvarssons jacket and RoadSkin jeans. What is it temperature-wise? Apparently it's 15 degrees today. I do not believe that. I can't believe it, Paul. Yeah, look how good they look. Oh, sensual. This guy's on the wrong side of the road. Oh, he looked really angry that I was on a motorcycle. Long story short, with the whole Romania having a mental breakdown type thing, I'm much happier now. I didn't really get down about it. It's sort of one of those things you just MTC cruise control. I've got a cruise control error. Why have I got a cruise control error? So I've just got a cruise control error and an MTC error. Maybe I haven't clicked something in. So it's just one of those things that you just have to go through, check it all. Also, once KTM can plug this in, I'm going to try not to clear that error, because once KTM plug it in, they'll be able to tell me what the problem is. It might just be something's not plugged in properly. Look at all this crap on the road. It's one of those things you've just got to suck it up and deal with it. Again, like I said in the video, I'm not an emotional man at all. I'm really not. Oh, that tested me. That really tested me when that second engine went. If you don't pick yourself up and get on with it, you'll never do it. You'll never pick yourself up. If you can make yourself feel like you're moving forward, that's all that matters. But yeah, so like I said, I've done a load of stuff on the house. Well, Emma and I have done a load of stuff on the house, which is great. The bike is back up and running. Like I said, there's a few little niggly things I need to sort out and make sure I've got no problems with sensors and things like that. This will be back on the road. The Super Duke's obviously fine. That bike is absolute. After the Pyrenees, my God, like my appreciation for that bike went through the roof. What a machine! Like, I had a lot of fun in the Pyrenees doing that. Oh my God, look at this! Lots of speedo blurring. The Ducati's decided it doesn't want its speedo to work, so I need to sort that out. And then obviously the monkeys. I've got one monkey essentially completely done. It just needs a little bit of tarting up. And then the other monkeys, obviously, I tried to engine swap it and failed at engine swapping it, so I need to sort that out. Just a little video from me to give you a bit of an update on what's going on in the world of Sam. I did definitely need the gap from content, if I'm honest. I say the gap, it's not been that bad, but I needed that space from the one video a week thing. It was wiping me out a bit. One thing I will end on, I had a guy turn up at my house who claimed he's an investigative journalist who claimed that my dad rented out a flat to some bloke in the 90s in Borehamwood, and the bloke's son that was renting, apparently, I'm going to have to beep this out, but took his dad's existence, let's put it that way, and buried him under X amount of feet of concrete. He was claiming that was me. I was like, mate, one, my dad didn't have a flat in Borehamwood. My dad's never had a flat in Borehamwood. My name's not what you say it is, and also my surname of my parents is not what you say it is. One, you're a bit of a crap investigative journalist if you think that's what it is. And two, don't turn up at my house. Like, I didn't give you my address, so he's obviously found my address from somewhere. Don't turn up at my house. That was a fun little thing that went on. Anyway, on that really lovely upbeat note, I'll speak to you later. Bye!